good afternoon. Thank you for joining me today. Today we're going to be working on a grapevine wreath with a rooster design. Maybe we would call it a little French country, which is very trendy right now. And I've gone ahead and attached my rooster. He's made out of tin. And what I did was I placed 3 holes, one here, here, and another one just below his wing, and he's nice and sturdy. And then I used wire and attached him to our wreath. The next thing that I did was I attached floral foam using zip ties. So one here and one here. So we've kind of got our triangle. We'll be placing florals and bows. I've gone ahead and made the bow. So I'll just show this to you. We've got this really cute chicken with the chicken wire in red and white, a yellow, our polka dot to bring out our polka dots in our rooster, the yellow for his feet. You can see how we've coordinated that. I've gone ahead and made 2 bows. I hadn't placed them yet because I wanted to show you how I have the floral foam attached. So my thoughts are that I would have, and what I did is after I zip tied, you've seen me make bows. After I zip tied, I placed a floral pin. I'm not sure if you can see that or not, that I can place into my foam to secure my bow. So my decision right now is how I want them to hang. I don't want to cover a rooster. So I'm thinking probably something like this, and then we'll have our florals. We'll be making bouquets of florals to either side. So let me go ahead, show you the florals. So today I'm going to be using red geraniums. Okay, that's going to look very nice with our rooster. I've also got some yellow filler flowers that we'll be using. And also another filler to bring in some of the weight from our rooster. I've got this, I'm not sure what you call it. And I've gone ahead, let's see, I've got some ferns that I've cut down that we'll be using to establish our perimeter. And another type of fern that has a little drape to it that we'll be using as well. Okay? So I think it's going to be a really pretty design. I'm working on a large oval. I didn't place my hanger on yet because I'm not sure once we get the florals like where I exactly need to place it, because I don't want it to hang crooked. Right now it seems as though this would be the area where I would be placing it, but I'm going to do that last. Okay, before we get started, let me introduce myself. My name is Elaine. I'm owner and creator at Inspired by My Angel, CLM. My wreath making journey began in September of 2020. I found myself out of work as of August due to the COVID, and was, what am I going to do with myself? I lost my daughter at the age of 22 years old. Her name is Sherry Lee Malo. Those are why there are initials after Inspired by My Angel, CLM. They represent my daughter. Though Sherry's been gone a very long time, I still chat with her on a daily basis. I feel her with me all of the time, and I feel as though she led me in this direction. I used to craft. I would make angels that I would place at her gravesite, and with a card asking anyone who happened to stop by, whether they knew her or not, to please take an angel in her memory. And I've been doing that for 25 years. So that was my extent of crafting. I made little crafty angels, would bag them, tie them with ribbon, and place them at the cemetery. And it helped me through my grieving process. It gave me joy to do that, to keep Sherry's memory alive. So when I tried making the wreath in the fall, let me backtrack a little bit, I came out to get my wreath, and I had had it a couple of years and it had seen better days. So I decided to go to YouTube, like many of you do, for inspiration and learn how the process, like DIYs. So I watched a few, and they were making wreaths, and I thought, gee, maybe I could make my own wreath. So off to the craft store I went, I bought some supplies, I came home, and I made a wreath. It came out nice. I was surprised. Unbeknownst to me, not only was I happy with my wreath, was the joy I experienced in creating the wreath. That same joy that I got when I made angels in Sherry's memory. So I thought, okay, Sherry, are you pushing me in this direction? I became passionate about making wreaths. So I have joined 2 design classes online. One is with Julie Samaco, and the other is with Kali's Design School. They're virtual classes that you take online, tutorials. They're both fantastic designers, and I'm learning a tremendous amount from them, and would encourage anyone who's thinking about pursuing the art of wreath making to sign up for one of their classes. So then I ended up opening up an Etsy shop, because I have so many wreaths that I have made. I'm like, what am I going to do with these wreaths? So in class they talked about Etsy, which I had heard of but wasn't really that familiar with, and I had never purchased on an Etsy site. So after finding out a little bit about that, I believe it was by the end of October, I had opened an Etsy shop, and I'm pleased to say that I am now selling my wreaths. Talk about a journey. This has truly been a very exciting, unexpected journey. And the reason for doing these videos is to, number one, somewhat advertise for my Etsy shop, but also behind that is I would love for you to come along with me, not as an experienced wreath maker, as someone who's new, and let me show you that you can do it, just like I found out I can do it. And my hope is that you'll find joy and become passionate about wreath making. So I decided I would do YouTube videos. So here I am. I've gotten a little bit of better lighting. I have made a few videos. Please check them out. Inspired by my angel, CLM. And I've done a little bit of a different setup, and hopefully you're going to be able to see. What I would appreciate is if, after watching the video, if you would leave me some comments as to how you like it, how my teaching you if I'm clear and you can understand, and that you would feel as though you would try to make this wreath. That's my true hope. So let's get started today on our French country rooster wreath, okay? Okay, first of all, I think I want to get my bows placed. So I use a skillet. It's just an electric skillet that you would use in your kitchen for frying food. It's a small one, and you put your glue sticks in it and they melt. And what's nice about it is you can control your temperature. With a glue gun, the glue gets really hot, and I'm finding I get burnt much less using a glue skillet. So if that's something that you might be interested in. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to apply a little bit of glue here on my floral pin. And I'm just going to adhere that to our floral foam. Okay, so we have our first one in, and we'll be adjusting these bows a zillion times, at least I do, during the process. And those people that I watch do as well. So you'll find yourself doing that. Okay, and then the second bow, as I said, I don't want it to be here and cover a rooster. So I think what I'd like to do is come off a little bit angled with this one. So let me get some glue. And I'm just pushing that into the floral foam. And just fix my ribbons so we can see where we'll begin placing our greenery. I learned this technique using the floral foam in my design classes, and I really enjoy doing wreaths this way. I don't do all of them this way, but this is just one of the techniques, so maybe you would like to try it. If you find some of my other videos, you'll see other ways that I've done them as well. Okay. So there we go. We've got our bows placed, and I think that looks nice. Now, one thing I have learned in design school is to, it's not a rule, but it works for me, is to start off with your greenery. So that's what I'm going to place next, just to get a line of how I want my flowers to be placed on my wreath. So I'm going to start off with the longer of the pieces that I have. I've got several different types of fern. So I'm just going to try it and see. Like I said, I don't want to cover my rooster, but I think if it came over like that would be nice. So I'm going to dip this stem in my glue. And place my fern. Just turn that a little bit. Got our first one. Because I put one there, I'm going to come below. And I'm going to place some fern here to establish a line on this side. That's another thing that I have learned in design school is to work opposites. And that truly helps me stay focused on my design. I'm just bending the greenery, giving it a little motion, making it a little more realistic. Okay, so we have this piece coming out here, we have one there. Now let's get one coming out this side and this side. I kind of mixed up my greenery here when I was showing that. Just bending these a little bit. I'm going to just see where I would want to place this. Like I said, I don't want to cover the rooster. I think that would be good there. So we'll get some glue. I think that looks nice. So let's get another piece to establish how far out we're going over on this side. So I think right here. Also, what I'll be doing when I'm done is placing some Spanish moss to cover our floral foam. But there's a good chance, although there's a big piece of glue showing right there, so I'm going to just take some floral foam and place it on there. There's a good chance with all of our florals and greenery, I won't need to put much floral foam of Spanish moss in there. Okay, so we've got a pattern going. So let's continue and add some more greenery. These are just glue strings you see me pulling. I hope you can see okay. I'll wait on a shorter one for there. I need to get something behind our bow to establish our height, so I'm just going to cut this down. We don't need it quite that long. Yeah, that looks good. You get a little bit of moss. like that. Now we'll get another piece that'll come down here between the tails of our ribbon on the bottom. That'll be nice right there. Okay, and we'll get a piece coming down here, and we'll need to place something there. Let's go up opposite first. These are all wired, so you can move them in the direction you want them to go. Just going to put a little bit of moss while the glue is still warm. Okay, and now we need to get one here in the center. Let me just look through and see what I've got here that I think will work in that location. I've got these poster boards up here to block out my ribbons, so it's not taking away from the wreath. I found it to be a little distracting. Some of these are a little too big. Oh, here's a good one. Just cut this a little bit shorter. Keeping in mind that I don't want to cover our rooster. Okay, so we can kind of get a look at it. We've got coming down, we've got these at the top. So I think we've done a nice job of evening that out, because we want everything to be dispersed evenly. So let's work a little bit more greenery in. This a little bit shorter. This is a mixed greenery, which is very nice. That looks good there. Let's get another one draping down from the top. I'm just going to keep working my way back and forth. just introducing a little more texture also by having the mixed fern like this. Okay, perhaps now I'll come a little at an angle out here. Has some cute little berries on it. Okay, I like that. So maybe one down here. Maybe not quite so full. Yeah, that one I think would be a little bit better. Okay, so we need to get two more up here. If we find we're getting too close and it's blocking our rooster, we can always cut pieces out. But let's wait until we get more in before we make that decision. Okay, and then I need another one over here. I'm just holding the floral foam as I insert my greenery. Bending those so they're more realistic looking. I'm just going to get a little bit of like a I can can see a little bit of glue right there. Okay, I like that. So let me bring it a little closer so you can see what I've done. Okay, got our greenery. Not forgetting to put some under our bow. Same thing on the bottom. And now we'll put in a few florals. We'll get our focal flower in next, which is going to be our geraniums. See how many I have. I have one. Cut this off. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 7, 8. I've got 9. Okay, so I'm going to put the tinier ones in one little group, because those would be the ones that would be extended the furthest, and the larger would be a little closer to the bow. We can always double up a couple of the smaller ones if we need to. Okay, let's see. We've established that perimeter that I was discussing with you with our fern. So what that has done has given us this line on the bottom and the top. What I would like to do now is stay within that line. Also, I didn't mention, we have our bows, so those are referred to as transitions in design class, or central binding point, so that everything, all of your florals are going to come from that central binding. So anything on this side of the bow is going to go in this direction. Anything on this side would be coming downward. And the same would apply here on our bottom. We'd be coming in that direction and upward, and then in this direction. So I need to see where I would like this first floral to go. Remembering I do not want to cover my rooster. So this definitely needs to be shorter. So I'll be cutting those leaves off, but I won't throw them away. We can always use them. Okay, so that'll be within our line. Let me get this one placed. That looks good there. Okay, so I'm going to come opposite that one. I'm going to come down here and place one. This needs to be a little bit shorter. So I'm thinking right in this area here. eventually I would love to be able to do Facebook Lives and be able to chat with anyone who happens to be watching. But I don't think I could, number one, I have my iPad set up here, the camera here. I don't think I could read the comments. And it's still, I'm too new. But eventually I would love to do that and be able to build relationships with people that are following. Oh, that's another thing. If you're watching this video and you like what you see, hit the subscribe button, and that'll let you know when I make new videos and you can follow along. Also like and share if you have someone that you think might enjoy learning to make this wreath. Okay, I think that looks good. We're coming out about the same distance. So I guess what I'm going to do is cut quite a few of these leaves off. But like I said, I'll keep them because we can cover our floral foam with them. So because I placed one there, let's come down here. So now I need to come over here. This one I think I can leave the leaves on. Let's try it. Yeah, I think that would be okay. Again, I'm bracing the foam. It's secured, but I don't want to weaken it in any way. So now we have those placed. I think that's looking nice. Now I'd like to get one in the center and maybe one up top. I like that. Got our triangle. So let's do the same thing here. Try it on for size. So we'd have our triangle. I think it needs to go a little shorter. I'm going to take the leaves off. I'm liking this. Okay, I think we need something coming down here. Let's see where we would put it here. Yeah, I think coming down this way. So I'm just going to give that a little bend. Okay, so now let's get one coming down here also. Maybe a little off. I've got that a little off, so maybe a little more to this side. Going to bend that a little bit upward so you can see it. I think we've got a nice balance going on. We've got one more left. Could put it up there. We're seeing how we have the rooster on this side. We could have another one on this side to balance that off. And maybe have it coming out in this direction. You know what, let's wait. Let's get some other things in first. Then we'll see. Let me just fluff the bow, see where we need placement. Always step back a little bit and take a look at it. Okay, I've got some of these yellow florals. I think up top. I'm going to cut this just a little bit shorter. Just bending it a little bit in that direction, giving it some movement. Okay, I put one there, so let's get one in over here. Right in there. So that's nice. We'll go over on this side. I think I'm going to come up beside the rooster just to get a little bit near him. Cut it just a little bit shorter. So we're opposite that one. Okay. So we need to get another one there. Okay, you see how that just want to take a look and see how many others I have. I have two more of this type. It's a little bit lighter, so I'm thinking maybe one up here and one down here, or come in the center. What do you think? That looks nice. So we haven't glued that yet. So if we have that one there, thinking more, actually I think I'd rather have it in the center because I've got quite a bit of greenery here. And our ribbon tails. I think I'm going to put it up top, but I'm going to cut it a lot shorter. And I think I'm going to cut this leaf off because it looks a little frayed. The other two look fine. I didn't really like the way that one looked. So let's try it. I think that looks pretty. Okay, I'm going to do that. But I think I'm going to make it just a little bit shorter. Yeah. I like that. Okay. So I'm going to put that right behind as a backdrop for our geranium. Oh, I think that looks pretty. Okay. Then I want to bring in some of the white. I mean, I know we have it here. I also have some of these a little finer. If we feel as though we need those, we'll put those in also. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. I've got 5 of those. But we'll wait until we get this white in. And these are pretty. I don't, maybe you call it status, I'm not sure. It has this little pod type thing on it. And then these are like, it's like a flower but berries. So it's just going to add another texture. But that's going to be way too big. So I'm going to cut some of these down. Here I have a smaller one. I think that'd be nice there. So we just bend that pod so it shows. So that looks good. It's just giving another texture, and it's bringing in the white from our rooster. Okay, I put one there. I need to come and put one down here. But it can't, I cut these in pretty large pieces. They need to be smaller. So there's that pod. Put a few pieces. I think over here. Okay, so we get our pod to show and just move some of the pieces around, get them. just like how that adds another texture. That looks good. Okay, so here's a smaller piece. I think down here. And we'll just manipulate these where we want them. Some can be down, poking out. That looks pretty. So we need to get one more up there. Right there, and then we can mix it, manipulate it where we want it. Just put a little moss on that. Okay, so now let's get our bow where we want it. Manipulate some over this way, over here. I think that looks nice. I hope you're liking this. I know I am. I'm wondering if maybe I should attach him to a piece of foam to bring him out a little bit more. I'll wait until we're all done, and that's something, I won't do it now, but that's something I may end up doing. Just pulling some of my glue strings off. Trying to get my ribbon in the right place. Okay, I think that's enough of that. Let's see about these little yellow florals. filler flowers. I'm just going to take it and move it around a little. Cut that shorter and maybe have that coming down here. Okay, I like that. Just cut my ribbon here at an angle. Just staggering the length so you can see each ribbon. Just rolling my fingers on them just to give them a little bend. Some string. So I think I like this here. Maybe not this one. This one seems a little long. So I'll take that one out. There, that's better. Could actually just have that coming right out of the center of the bow there. So I think I'm going to cut this. Can have just a little touch right there in the center. You can see where I put that. I'll bring it a little closer. Just put it right here. Just coming out of the center of that bowl. Okay, we have a piece draping off to that side. Let's get something on this side. I think I'm going to have it come up here. Going to cut it in half. It's a little too long. Just adding another texture, bringing in a little more of our yellow. let's get another piece of the yellow flower. And we'll put it in the center of this bow too. Just gluing it right to the ribbon. You see that? We just put it right in there. It's a little glue string. I really think it looks quite nice. I don't think I need to add any more. What I will do is go back over it and I'll add some Spanish moss to the area here where we can see our floral foam, and to the back of this one. But actually I think it'll be too much if I put any more in it. It's nice and full, it's large. Just give you a better look at it. Got all our colors. You can see how it's not flat. It has a lot of dimension. I'm very pleased with it. But one thing I did say, and like I said, I'm a beginner, so I don't know it all. I feel as though I'm going to unattach the rooster. I'm going to put just a small block of foam behind him and attach him to that so he comes out a little bit. I think he looks a little too deep. But I've already kept you so long. It's been a little over an hour. I just checked my iPad. I want to thank you so much for being here with me today. Again, please take a look at my Etsy store. Comment back here and let me know what you think. Maybe you'll find something that you just can't live without. That would be wonderful as well. The name of the store is Inspired by My Angel, CLM. Even if you don't find anything today, hit that heart button that's on the Etsy page, and that will let you know when I put new items in my store, and it will also help me grow as a small business, so I would greatly appreciate that. The same as you'll do for this YouTube. I would just love if you would leave me a comment. Let me know, did I explain it to you? Could you see? Is there any way I could improve? Most of all, do you feel inspired to try and make a wreath? Okay, thank you. I appreciate each of you who are watching my video, and I'll see you again. Bye now.